V is competing against hundreds of players on an internet dare game. Thousands watch on the dark web and bet on whether the players bail, fail, or make it. Dares are life-threatening and some have died. Will V and her fellow competitors survive this night? Place your bets and let's find out. As the film opens, V gets a call from her friend, Sydney. They do some small talk, and then her friend introduces her to a 24-hour dark web game called Nerve, which the viewers pay so they can dare players to take on certain feats to win money. V is having a conversation with her mother, Nancy, about college. Things are tough at home since her brother was shot in a hit and run, and Nancy is overprotective of V. V is a yearbook photographer at her high school. JP, her crush, is on the team, and Sydney is a cheerleader. Sydney's Nerve Dare is to moon her entire high school. It is a big hit with the viewers, and she advances another level and wins money. Dares include tasks like eating a can of dog food, jumping, skate surfing cop cars, and many other crazy teenage pranks. Sydney is anticipating her next dare, even though she is now suspended from school. Sydney is teasing V about taking risks in her life and getting out of her comfort zone. Tommy, V's best friend, who wishes it was more, sticks up for her. Sydney dares her to go talk to JP and flirt with him. Her friends all cheer her on, except Tommy. V backs down instead. Sydney goes to JP and asks JP if he would go out with her girlfriend. Sydney points to V sitting there. He says, "No, she's not my type." Sydney insults him by telling him he is not as hot as he thinks, but V is embarrassed and runs out. After riding her bike home, she decides to be a player on Nerve. As it goes, the players with the most watches go on to the final round. The watchers vote on your dares. There are 3 rules with the game. Winner takes all. 1. All dares must be filmed on the player's phone. 2. The only way to get eliminated is to fail or bail. And 3. Snitches get stitches. The game is illegal, so no one can report them to the authorities. She gets her first dare and asks her friend Tommy to drive her. Tommy reminds her that some kids died in Seattle playing Nerve, but she doesn't believe that. He says they can't be shut down because everyone that logs in becomes its server, so it is impossible to shut it down no matter what happens to the players. When she gets to the diner, her dare is to kiss a stranger for 5 seconds for $100. She sees a guy who is reading her favorite book, so she begins a conversation, then suddenly kisses him. She says goodbye, but then he starts singing her a love song while dancing around the diner. The guy, Ian, admits that his dare was also just to sit in a booth and read the book given to him. All right, I'm starting to put some of the pieces of this puzzle together. Are you? Tom reminds her that they know everything about her from social media. They both get another dare, which says they are to go to the city together. She decides to join him and play the game. V suggests that her friend Sydney join instead, but the watchers want them together. In the meantime, Sydney's dares are quite outrageous and humiliating, but she will do anything to win. Once they make it to their destination, Ian says bye, but then V gets a text and she is to follow him into the store. Her mother is at work and notices that her bank account is increasing. Nerve has access to the bank and is adding the money earned so far. Their dares are to try on some very expensive clothing within 5 minutes. After they try on the clothing, and they look fabulous, they return to their stalls and learn someone has stolen their clothes. They must leave the store in 2 minutes, and since they don't want to shoplift, they walk out in their underwear. At the motorcycle, they find a bag with the nice clothes they just tried on. Watcher fans must have purchased them because they are just loving this couple. The next dare is for Ian to select a tattoo for V, so they go to a studio and he selects a lighthouse. It has meaning for her and represents the optimal of what a person can be. V tells Ian about her brother that just died, how he didn't fear anything. Tommy is suspicious of Ian and has joined the game. He calls his hacker friend to get the scoop on him. On the dark web, Tommy learns that Ian has played this game before. Can Ian trust V? And can V trust Ian? Their next dare is for Ian to hit a speed of 60 miles per hour blindfolded with V on the back of his bike to guide him through the streets of Manhattan. Oh, that sounds like a real good idea. V bails, but Ian begs her. It is a very dangerous ride, going left, right, when to slow or speed up. V tells him a light is green when it is really red, and they nearly hit a few people. They finally make it to 60. Ian takes his blindfold off right before he hits a building. The watchers love them. They have thousands of views, and now they are kissing for real. Sydney is losing, so she begs her viewers to give her a real dare to put her on top again. A guy, Ty, comes up and wants to team up with her. He is in 4th place, but she finds him scary and snubs him. Meanwhile, Nancy asks Tommy if he knows where V is. Isn't V after you? Never mind. He will not tell her about Nerve and what V is up to. Later, on a carousel, V asks why Ian is playing Nerve, and he replies, "Some things happen to my family that I wish happened differently." Just then, Sydney calls her and gets blocked. V says she is tired of being someone's sidekick, and Ian replies, "You don't seem like a sidekick to me." In other words, you're awesome, baby. Unbeknownst to her, she is being streamed live by Ian. V trash talks her best friend Sydney, saying how she is insecure, even her parents are tired of her, and how sad it is that she has a revolving door of guys. At this party for Nerve watchers, they gather to see Sydney's next dare, which is to walk across a ladder between 2 high-rise buildings. I wouldn't do that. Sydney is crawling across, scared to death, and now some of the party watchers are telling her to just give up. It is too dangerous, but she keeps going. Her foot slips through a rung and she drops her cell phone. It is over. She is now officially failed at the game. They show all the other failures from that night, and now there are just 3 players left. Ian, V, and Ty. Ty's dare is to lay under an oncoming train and hope he is flat enough with nothing sticking out that can rip him apart. When Vian arrives at the party, the two are treated like celebrities. She learns that Sydney is out of the game. She opens a door and finds Sydney having fun with JP, and V just says she is not surprised. Sydney reveals that she heard all the nasty things she said about her to the whole world. A drunken Sydney is telling V a guy like Ian wouldn't talk to her after the game. Ian interjects that he does like her. Tommy comes to V's defense, and to end the fight and maybe the friendship, V steps outside and walks straight across the ladder to the other side. Everyone is amazed and cheers her on. Tommy tells V the only reason you are at the party is because it was Ian's dare to get you and Sydney to fight. V asks Ian if it's true, but Ian pulls her into an elevator and says it's more complicated and not about the money. Once outside, she calls a police officer and explains what is going on. People on the street are calling her a snitch, and the officer does nothing because an actual crime has not been committed. In the next scene, we see her mom notices that all the money in her bank account has been withdrawn. Elsewhere, Ty attacks V, hitting her over the head and kidnaps her. V awakens in a cargo container with "snitches get stitches" written all over. There is a computer displaying that since she broke the rules, she is their prisoner. The only way out is to go to the Staten Island ferry, and the Watchers will give her a next dare. It is not about money anymore, it is saving her life. She sees Ian at the dock and begs him to tell her everything. He does. In Seattle, he and Ty and this other guy, Robbie, had a dare in a construction site of a skyscraper. But Robbie plummeted to his death. So Ty and him went to the authorities to report Nerve, but they said it was just an accident. And now, like her, he is their prisoner. He tells her all the terrible things they did to his family. They ruined his sister's reputation, got his father fired, and they will keep destroying him unless he wins. Now he must do all these dares to escape that fate. 3 remain in the game, and Ian has a plan to make her win. He can eliminate Ty, then save her with his plan. Tommy and Sydney are still on her side, and they want to come pick her up, but she says no, she will end this nerve game forever. She has a plan to expose everyone, and the 3 conspire together. Tommy takes Sydney to a network of hackers who will help them expose Nerve. Ian's dare is to go to the roof of a skyscraper, then climb to the top of a crane and stay above the city. This is so similar to when his friend died. He made it, and he is now in the final round. At the ferry, V grabs a bag with a gun and arrives at an abandoned theater where hundreds of watchers have gathered for the finals. Ian is there with his gun, and they are told the first one to shoot the other wins. V says she won't do it and is walking away, but then Ty is there, takes the gun, and says he will shoot her. The audience cheers him on. Meanwhile, the hackers are trying to create bots to vote this dare out, but Nerve is too advanced. V asks if they really want to see one of them murdered, and the audience cheers yes. Oh, the depravity. She tells them helping someone get killed doesn't take nerve, but taking off their masks and identifying themselves does. The vote is in, and it's a unanimous yes, the dare is on. The hackers are almost there exposing all who participate, but too late because Ty shoots V. Everyone watching, except for her mother and friends, is still cheering. Ian holds V in his arms, and just then on everyone's cell phone screens, a message appears with their first and last names telling them they are an accomplice to murder. Everyone signs out, and Nerve is shut down. V opens her eyes, and Ty admits it was all a ruse with the help of Tommy and Sydney. Ian, whose real name is Sam, and V decide to go on a second date, and even Sydney and Tommy are smitten with each other. They might actually live happily ever after if they can stay away from internet challenges. Oh boy, what do you guys think about this one? I rather enjoyed it, and this is one I can actually see myself watching the entire way through. But we want to know what you think in the comments below.